What's up guys? I'm going to be giving you a tutorial today on Pin Generator. What I'm going to do is give you a 1-minute crash course on how to use everything from top to bottom, and then after that I'm going to go into each of the features in a bit more detail. So welcome aboard. I'm glad you're here. There's a lot to learn, so let's jump straight into it. Right, so we're here at pingenerator.com. It's the fastest Pinterest marketing solution. Basically, you can put in any URL, click generate pins. It goes to that URL, it gets the images, it gets the metadata, and it uses that to generate ready-to-use Pinterest pins. So you can see here, it's grabbed a whole bunch of data from that website, and you've got Pinterest pins that are ready to go. You can select a bunch of different design settings, which we'll get into later, but once you are happy with all these, with everything, and the way it looks, and the type of pins, you can either schedule the pins, download the pins, or pin them directly to Pinterest. So I'm just doing a bit of shuffling here to see some variations, but you get the idea. Once you're happy with edits, you can edit lots of the stuff. Everything's dynamic. You can choose from different images and various other settings, which you'll get into. But once you're happy, you can pin them to Pinterest, schedule them at a specific time or add them to your queue, download them, and much more. In addition to the templates that you have available here, you have a whole bunch of a template builder, where you can build your own templates. There's a whole bunch of shared templates that the community has shared, which you can use as a starting point for your own templates or as little tweaks for your own. So there's lots of different template options. And then of course, there's scheduling. You can set your scheduling settings based on a variety of things, your time zone, different scheduling windows, the number of pins you want to pin per day. And those scheduling settings will be used when you schedule the pins that you've just generated. Right, that's the crash course. So we're going to get into each of the features a little bit more in depth, and yeah, go through it a bit more slowly. So let's start with generating pins. Right, so we can generate pins in a number of ways. You've just seen the first way, which you can put in any URL and generate a pin. What you may not have seen is that, or may not have noticed, is that what we used was a home page. So when you put in a home page URL, what happens is it goes to that home page and it looks for any sitemaps that website may have. It then detects those sitemaps, and as you can see, let's generate from it again. It detects those sitemaps and uses those sitemaps to generate pins. So you'll see in the left-hand bar here, it has detected sitemaps. So it's detected a post sitemap, a page sitemap, and a product sitemap. So by default, it always looks for the post sitemap, but you can click any one of these to use another one. So that's a cool thing to note. So you can put in not only the home page, but any sitemap URL to generate pins from. If, for instance, you don't want to use a sitemap, you can put in the direct URL to any web page and click generate. And that'll go to that web page, grab its images, grab its metadata, and use that to set up pins. So when you go to a single URL, it'll give you another option. So as we'll see here, it'll pop up with a whole bunch of image options. So it'll show you all the images that are detected from the page, and sometimes those images can be unrelated to what you want. Perhaps they're advert images, perhaps they're sort of images that you don't want. Then this is the perfect feature for that. So you can just select the ones you want to use in your pins, and then I can just bypass these other ones that I don't really like the look of, or that you don't want. You can select all and deselect all, and done. So now we just have the images that we want in our pins. Fantastic. So that's a great way to dial in exactly how you're generating your pins. So that's from a URL. You know how to generate from a sitemap. Additionally, you can generate pins from any CSV file. So you'll see here in the top left-hand section, underneath it says upload via CSV. First, what you're going to want to do is download the CSV demo file. Basically, this demo file has the titles or the column headers that you need. So title, description, URL text, date, and the image fields. And you can fill those in accordingly to be whatever you like. The only thing that you need to do is make sure that the column here matches these ones given here. So you can put in your own title, description, those are self-explanatory. The URL is your outbound URL of the pin. The URL text is a shorter URL, just so that you don't have to have the HTTPS or www when displaying URL text. The date, which is similar, also a dynamic field if you want to use it. And then images here, images that you have in URLs of the images. So you could also add image 4, or you could image 4, image 5, or you could delete images. And all of the fields are optional. So you don't have to use all of them, but you can just use the ones that you want to use. So once you're happy with your CSV file, let's create a few duplicates here, just so that we create a bit of an example. Save the file, exit, and then let's go upload via CSV, upload the demo file, and then it has appended these new pins onto the bottom here. So we can see interesting title. So these are the ones we've been using, that we've uploaded. So yeah, so you can also generate pins from a CSV file. All right, and if you do not want to generate pins, or if you have an e-commerce store rather, you can integrate with your e-commerce store. We currently integrate with Etsy, Shopify, and Amazon. And on the products page here, you can just click on your icon and go to the products page. You can connect an Etsy store or a Shopify store. And you click on either of these buttons and run through the prompts, and it'll import your products, and you can subsequently generate pins for the products that you want to generate pins for. So this is a nice and quick and easy way to import your store data, but you can also put in the URL of your store items to generate pins from. The Amazon integration works behind the scenes. You don't actually have to connect a store. You can just put in any URL of your Amazon products into this URL bar, and it will pick up all the data correctly and generate pins for your Amazon products. If, for instance, you don't have a URL that you want to generate pins from, you also have the opportunity to generate pins from scratch. So you can simply click the plus button, and this will generate a whole bunch of empty pins for you from scratch, where you can change the title and description as you like. So there we have it. So those are your options for generating pins. Let's move on to design and how to change the designs of your pins. But let's generate some more applicable pins here for us to work with. Cool. So we've got a bunch of pins. Not all of them are always going to work. Sometimes you're going to want to shuffle, which is an easy way to just mix up the designs so that you're getting fresh designs, you like the look of it. Cool. If you like the look of some pins but not others, you can always, let's say I like the look of this pin, I want to lock its design. And the same with this pin. And then when I shuffle again, all the other ones will be shuffled except that one. And conversely, if you just want to shuffle one pin, you can click the shuffle pin button underneath that pin, and it'll be shuffled, just that pin alone. So that's a quick way of mixing up your designs. But let's get into the other design features so that you know what's available to you. So first things first, you can click on any element here on the template itself, and you'll have a whole bunch of regular design options that pops up in a design bar at the top here. So you can bold text, select the font you like, text color, etc. If you click an image, you can choose whether it's dynamic. You can use a logo image and set its opacity, its background color, the centering options. And the same can be said with any SVG that you select, any video that you select, any image, any rectangle, any text. So that's quite self-explanatory. If you've used any other design tools, you'll be very familiar with that. From the sidebar here, you can set, so this is a great way to set up color palettes and formatting for all of your pins all at once. So let's say you want to select a different color palette. You can select any one you like from the pre-selected ones here, or alternatively, you can create your own color palette by clicking on any of the colors, adjusting the color itself, moving it around, and then using that color there. If you don't want to use a whole color palette, you can use the unselect the use all colors option. So that'll just use the ones that, just use the color that you've selected. So you can see here, these two aren't updating because we've locked them for editing, but let's unlock them so we get everything in sync. But now the colors look all funny. I don't like that. So I'm going to go back to, and you'll see your latest color palettes up here, but I'm going to go back to something else, just something that's more friendly to my eyes. And it's completely subjective. You guys can set up the color palette as you like, but I'm going to go with this subtle light color one. All right, and I like to mix it up. So that's selecting your colors. You can also fix low contrast text and colors. So what this feature does is it detects if you have, let's say, white text on a very light background, it will update the text's color to a different color in your color palette so that the contrast is better, so that it's easier to read the text. So if we, how to best show this, let's select a color palette that's really got some light colors, and this is unselected, and you can see that the white here against this really light colored background is really tough to read. I've unselected use all colors and just use this really white color. It's tough to read. But if we put it on, it does some mathematics in the background, it checks the contrast ratio between the background and the foreground and the text color itself, and then selects a better color for that text. So I like to have that on because it just makes all the pins a lot more legible and easier to read. What we've got here is some text override features where you can, let's say, look, some templates use different fonts and different font colors. This is a nice way to unify the look and feel of your pins and allows you to override the font and the font color of all your pins. So let's say we just wanted to select a black font for all of our pins, and we wanted to select a new font for all of our pins so they match throughout the templates. This is how you can override your fonts to do that, as well as uppercase and lowercase. So but that's deactivated by default, so it's up to you whether you use that. Moving on to templates. You have a number of templates that are available to you. Now, you can create your own templates, but we'll get into that a bit later. So there's a whole bunch of templates that I've created here. Or you can use the standard templates that are available to you, and there are quite a few. We're actually in the process of adding about 10 to 15 new templates every 1 to 2 weeks now, so that's quite exciting. But you've got a whole bunch here ready for you to use. And you can see I've got a bunch selected. You can select a template, and of course it'll update your pins, and then deselect a template, and it updates, of course. So you can also randomize your templates by using this. This is use a random template from your template and from the standard templates. Or you can use one of each selected, and basically if you select 3 templates, this ensures that it uses each of the 3 templates one by one and then repeats if it runs out of templates to use. So that's a basic breakdown of the template section. In our images section, so of course you can upload your own imagery to use. You can use the randomization function to randomize the images, if you want to change up the images. Some templates don't always have a whole bunch of unique images, which is why some of these might not be changing, like this one. So this has only got 2 images there. And of course you can upload your own images, and once you've uploaded them you can either add them to the image rotation, or you can simply click and drag and put them on any image position. So that's how you do that. And then of course you can decide whether you want the image to fill the space or whether to show the full image in the space. But sometimes there's like, the image doesn't fill it quite right, so there's white space, so I always set it to cover the space available. All right. And if you are looking for some stock imagery, we have access to some stock images here. If you're looking for if you don't have images of your own, you can grab some here. You can click and drag them into your own templates. And if you want to add them to your images section, where you can use them for future dates, you can simply click the plus button, and that'll add it to your image uploads for you to use later. And it'll be here for you, and you can add it to your selections in this way. So to use in like an image rotation. So that's a really useful feature. All right. So one thing to note is that when you generate pins from a sitemap, so this is a home page, and it's gone to the website, it's detected the sitemaps, and it's generating from the sitemap. So we've got a sitemap detection running at the moment. So you can see that also by detected sitemaps that it has here. So when it has that detected, you'll see this select URLs to generate from. And through this, you can select specific URLs to generate from. So I could select this one and this one. So let's do walking tours Rome, walking tours Dublin, and we can select and we can generate from those two URLs. So this is a nice way to do a deeper scan on each of those URLs and to pull out all the images from those pages. So the sitemap scan looks for images within the sitemap, and this way, this scan scans the exact web page for all the images in the web page. So you'll see here it's got all the images in the web page, and this one has all the images in the web page, where if you haven't added them to your sitemap, you might not have these. So that's just one thing to note. All right, videos, we'll get into a little bit later, but we can create video pins from these templates too, which is awesome, but I'll get into that in a moment. Let me go into bulk settings. So this is the bulk setting sections is really awesome if you want to update all of your pins at once. So you can update all of the pins, titles, descriptions, outbound links, URL text. You can set the brand name. So in some templates, there's a brand name visible. Let's duplicate this a few times and run a shuffle. And let's find a template with the brand name in it. Here we go. So you see there's a brand name. So this is a dynamic field. You can select a dynamic field here, title, description, date, short URL, brand name. So this is a brand name. So you can see it's showing pin generator. So you can set your brand name here, brand name, and that updates here. You can see it's quite small, but it says brand name. So that's where you can set your brand name, and this is where you can set your logo. So you can see my logos popping up here and here, and this will fill a dynamic logo type image, a dynamic logo image, and we'll look at that when we're building a template in the upcoming video. We'll look at how you can do that and create dynamic logo sections for your own logo. All right. Oh, and also one more thing. If you've set a text that you like, you can save it and it'll overwrite the text in all the pins. So at the moment it's just temporary, but it will be used if you pin or schedule your pins. But let's say if you want to set this my new text, and you want to save it to the text permanently, you can click the save button here. So note that at the moment this is currently overridden by your bulk overrides, and it's kind of grayed out, and you can see it there. But if you wanted to save it permanently, you can save that and it'll be saved there. So this helps you if you want to save like a generic title and then you want to do some AI rewriting of the text, then the best way is to save it to overwrite the text in all the templates and then start AI rewriting. So that brings us perfectly to the next thing, which is our AI options. So what you can do with AI and all your Pinterest templates is you can rewrite all of your template titles. So let's do a quick regeneration. So let's say we're doing things to do in Rome. So let's just let it generate. And we've got a bunch of pins that we like. Okay, let's do things to do in Rome, but we don't want all the titles and descriptions to be the same. Things to do in Rome, things to do in Rome, because that's too repetitive. We want Pinterest to be seeing new content and new titles and new descriptions, so that frames our pins in a new way, which can capture different keywords, which will draw in different audiences from Pinterest to our pins and therefore to our website and to our products and services. So let's generate some pins. Boom, boom, boom. I like these images. Done. And we've got all the same titles, right? This is a perfect job for AI. Let's rewrite all the titles. Well, firstly, you can rewrite just one by clicking on the little AI robot here, and it rewrites the title for you, as you can see. Or you can do them all at once. Click the rewrite all titles with AI, and it starts jumping into each of them and rewriting all the titles for you. You can do the same with descriptions. Additionally, if you want to target different languages with AI, you can say, okay, cool, let me target the Italians, and set the AI language to Italian, and then let's rewrite this text in Italian, and it's unique text in Italian, and you can create different boards in different languages using that language. So that's really cool. You can open up huge new audiences for yourself by using AI to target different languages. You can set the tone of the AI, so you can also say like witty. Let's put it in English because my Italian isn't so good. And let's rewrite this. Roaming Rome's finest in 2023. So you can see how you can add a tone to it, which is quite cool. And it gives it some character. See this one? Funny. Rome's most happenings. That's pretty funny. But yeah, that gives you a nice way to set the tone for your AI. It's defaulted to neutral. Let's see what sarcastic. I hope I spelled that right. Okay, fantastic, I did. Let's see what it does. For sarcastic, this should be funny. Oh, because Rome never gets boring. The most exciting things to do in Rome, as if you hadn't heard them all before. It's pretty good. Okay, cool. So the last thing in the AI section is being able to find keywords for your Pinterest pins. So what's really awesome here is, let's say we go Rome, and now this queries Pinterest and says, hey, what are the top search queries for the word Rome? And now we can see Rome, Italy, Rome aesthetic, Romeo and Juliet, Rome. So these are really great keywords that have been told to us by Pinterest that are being searched very often. So what we can do is we can select a few of them that we think are appropriate for these pins. So Rome, Italy, Rome aesthetic, blah, blah, blah. Maybe we want to target something else like Colosseum. That's right, Colosseum. Maybe Italy. Let's see what else is there. Italy aesthetic. So these are some cool keywords that we can use. Now, when generating with AI, the AI will look at each of these keywords, and when generating a title, it'll select one of these keywords to generate a title with. So because Rome isn't aesthetic at all, it said no one ever. Okay, so it's using the keyword Rome aesthetic, and it's targeting that keyword, right? So let's set it to neutral because it's a bit confusing to see. And let's try another one. All right, what are we gonna get? It's thinking. Let's try this one. Here we go. Discover the beauty, the majestic beauty of the Colosseum. So it's using Colosseum here. So that's really cool. So it shows you how you can target these keywords. Now, you can do the same for descriptions. And what it will do is it'll take all the keywords that you've given it and try to create the description using some of them. So let's rewrite this description. And let's check out what it does. Timeless beauty of Rome. It's got Italy. It's got the Colosseum. It's got, what else? Aesthetic. All of these keywords that we're using. So that's a really great way to get those keywords into your descriptions. So it's really super powerful. So yeah, that is the AI section. So next we have this Etsy store options. Basically, this is a little trick that we have here in the Etsy store. You can put your Etsy store name, and if you don't do this and you generate pins for an Etsy store, the outbound URL, when you click it, it has a whole bunch of other people's products as related products in it. So it kind of leads people away from your products. If you put in your Etsy store name here, it will it'll send people to it. If you put your Etsy store name in here, it adjusts the URL so that when the user clicks the outbound link, they go to the Etsy product page and it doesn't have those related products. So that's a really great way to narrow the user in on your products. Cool. So those are all the design settings that you have here, right? Let's look at the scheduling, pinning, and downloading options. So first things first, you'll be able to connect to a Pinterest profile quite easily. It'll prompt you to connect to a Pinterest profile after signing up, or as soon as you click this Pinterest button, you just follow the prompts. And then once you're happy with your pins and you're ready to pin them, you can select boards from this list. You can click this drop down to get the board sections. This one doesn't have any board sections, but that's how you can get them. If you've made an update to your boards in Pinterest and you want to refresh them, you can click this button. It will reload your boards. And of course, you can create your own new boards here using this little dialog, and you can use AI to generate the board description for you, and it'll be available here. So quite simply, you just select the board and you can pin it. Boom, that's done. Or you can select multiple boards and pin it also, and it'll pin to all of those boards. The same can be done when you click the schedule button. When you add it to the queue, it'll be scheduled to one or more boards. And if you click the download button, it'll simply download the pin image to your computer. That is boards. And before I leave this page, let's quick cover the video section. So in the video section here, you can upload your own videos to be used as Pinterest video pins. And you can upload them and simply drag and drop a video onto any pin, any image section in the pin, or any video section, and you'll have the video created for you there. Then when you click the pin to Pinterest or schedule button or download button, it'll render the video for you and either schedule it or download it to your computer. So that takes a bit longer because videos take a while to process, but you have that ability at your fingertips right there. You can also search for stock footage. You can see I search for lots of cat videos. And these are my test videos, which I love. You can grab any cat video from here, and it'll put a cat video there for you. So you can simply hover over the video to play it. This will show what it's doing. And when you move the cursor away, it stops playing. That's a quick tip. Yeah, and that's videos in a nutshell. What's next? Scheduling settings. So you know how to download, schedule, and pin to Pinterest, but now what happens when you actually click schedule? So let's go to my scheduling settings here. This is the scheduling page, and basically on the left hand side here you have your scheduled pins queue. It tells you which profile you're working with, it shows you how many pins you have scheduled, and you can see all the pins here. You can also sort the pins by ascending and descending time-wise, well, date, and yeah, that's lovely. So what settings do they use to schedule? So you can click this edit scheduling settings button to look at your scheduling settings. Here you can set how many pins you want to pin per day. So if I want to set 10 pins a day, I can do that. You can set the windows in which you want your pins to go out. So I can say between 1:30 and 4:30 in the morning, and 3:30 and 8:30 at night. I want it to be in Windhoek time zone because I'm in South Africa now, and you save your settings. And you'll see the current time slots that its pins are going to go out now are at 1:30, 2:18, 3:06, blah, 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 blah. So it spreads out your pins nice and evenly so that you're consistently pinning at all times of the day, or at least in the windows that you select. So when you click a schedule button, it'll say, okay, what is the next slot available for me to put a pin in? And it'll look at these settings and select a slot for the pins to go. So you can edit those settings. So I already had 25 a day previously, but let's say I've set new settings now. I can reset the schedule times to my new Pinterest scheduling settings, and we'll have 10 pins a day now according to those settings going forward. So that's fantastic. Additionally, in the scheduling page, you have the Smart Shuffle button. So how that works is it does the best effort to spread out your outbound URLs as much as possible. So Pinterest likes it when you don't pin too much to the same outbound URL every day. So this smart shuffle button looks at all your outbound link URLs and it spaces them out accordingly so that they're the most spaced apart. You can look it up for a more in-depth, detailed explanation in the knowledge base, but that's how it works in a nutshell. Okay, so I think you'll be thinking about what are these auto pins here that I've got set up. So these are basically fully automated Pinterest pins. What they do is they take a bunch of settings from your generate page and they use those settings to create new pin images by themselves with new text, new descriptions, and they schedule them automatically to Pinterest board. So why don't we create one together? Let's go to the generate page. We've got a whole bunch of pins here. Now, if I click the shuffle button, I like how these pins are looking. Let's say I could pin all of these pins by various Roam boards and I'm happy with them. So now we know that these are using all the settings in the sidebar here to create various Pinterest pins. So an auto pin could be started creating, so you can highlight over the scheduling icon and go to create auto pin. And this will start the creation process for these auto pins. So you can say to this auto pin, right, I want to create a new pin with these settings every however many days, weeks, months. So it's great to say, let's put one Roam pin per day for this blog post. And I want to generate a fresh pin every time. So this is going to shuffle our settings like we were doing to create a brand new Pinterest image every single time. And it's going to create a new image for us and schedule that image for us. But you can see we've got the same title and description. So we can use AI to rewrite the title and description every time we shuffle the image. So let's see another one. Perfect. Now we've got our own unique title, and you'll notice that this is using some of our keywords. So it's saved all of the settings we've had previously, and it's using that in shuffling the image as well as the title and description text. So we can go again, and it's got a different title. So this you can set to all run in the background. And you can do this indefinitely or for a certain amount of time. So you can say, let's go until November 30th. That gives us 3 months of this. Perfect. The last setting here is whether you want this pin to be scheduled to all the boards you've previously selected. So you can see we've got 3 boards selected here. I know they're unrelated, but it's just an example. And we can say, okay, we want these to go to all the boards every time, or you can say just schedule the pin, to one of those boards. So that's what this setting allows you to do. Then, once you're happy with everything, you can create the auto pin, and it'll generate the image and start scheduling, and it'll set up the auto pin for you. So this yellow icon says that it indicates that it's complete. Let's go to our scheduling settings. We can see that we've got a new auto pin here, and let's just sort this the other way around. We can see that the first pin has been scheduled. There we go. It's on the e-commerce marketing board and it's ready to go. So it does the first one immediately and then sets it up as per your scheduling cycle here. So I'm just going to delete this because that's a bit unrelated to my profile. And if you want to edit the auto pin, you can open it up here. You can change, this is the seed title and the seed description. So these never change. This will always be your basis for what the AI uses to regenerate from. Otherwise, it kind of can get pretty crazy. So it always uses the seed title and seed description. And then of course you have your outbound URL here. You have the boards you selected. Here's the scheduling settings you can edit. And here are the images that it's using. You know, if you wanted to change them up or add some new ones, you can do so here. And of course, if you don't like the pin anymore, you can delete it. Oh, and one more thing. If you want to edit this pin, you say, okay, I want to change up the keywords. I want to change up some different design settings that aren't available here. You can load the pin for editing back into your designer, and you can start playing with the templates and images and everything again, and then regenerate the auto pin as we did before. But for now, in these settings, I'm just going to, in the scheduling side, I'm just going to delete this, and that's rock and roll. Done. Cool, yeah, so that's AutoPin. So that's a fully automated pin creating solution that creates pins for you in the background. So what I would do is let's say you have 10 blog posts that you want to generate pins for. I would say, right, let's create an auto pin for each of those 10 blog posts. And let's set it to a pin for each of those blog posts once every 1 day or 3 days. And let that run. So it's creating pins for you consistently in the background. And it adds those to your scheduling setting, add those according to your scheduling settings. So, you got 10 pins going out every day, brand spanking new pins with new titles and descriptions. And you don't have to lift a finger. It just keeps doing it. So that's a great way to just keep publishing your articles on Pinterest at all times. Great, so that is the auto pins stuff. All right, so another cool feature for you guys to know is the pin history. So you can go into your pin history here and you'll see all the pins that you've pinned previously across all your profiles. You can also pin these again to Pinterest or schedule them to Pinterest or download them again in the future. So if you ever want to refer back to your old pins, you can check them out in the pin history section here. Cool, so let's get on to the template builder. So let's say you have a template here that you really like, but you want something to be a bit different. So let's use the one that we've got here. So this is using one of the standard templates, and you can duplicate one of the standard templates by clicking the edit template button here. So because it won't edit the ones that everybody's using, it'll create a copy of your own one to edit here. But if it's your own template, then it will open the edit button for your template itself. So we can click that and it'll open in a new tab where we can edit this template. You'll see it says copy here. So this is our template editor where we can edit templates. So if we go to the template page here, you can see that we can add a new template. We've got all our templates that we currently use. We've got templates here that people have shared. We can use any of these. You can favorite them and you can click on them to duplicate them and start editing them as your own. And then, of course, well, not of course, but you can favorite templates so that they're saved into this favorite section here. And you do so by just clicking the heart button here, and then it'll be saved to your favorites for later. So let's go to our templates and let's continue working with that template that we just duplicated. So, awesome. This is our template. This is the name of the template. Let's call it test templates so that we know to save it, delete it later. Oh, you'll see that the save template button just ran by itself. Templates are auto-saved for you, but just in case you want to do it manually, you can always click that button. So you have the option to share this template, and when you choose to, it asks you, hey, are you ready for this template to be shared? Can everybody use it? And there's a whole bunch of questions here. It says, is this ready for the community? If it is, you can say, yes, I want to share it. If not, you go back, make some more edits, and perfect the template for everybody. So here you can select the canvas size. You can update the canvas size. There's a whole bunch of canvas sizes to choose from, or you can just resize the template manually. Here is the layers section where we can add layers. So you'll notice in this template we don't have a place for images. So why don't we add an image? This will add an image here, and you can make it as big as you like, and you'll see that it's just got a placeholder image in it currently. Maybe we make this whole thing an image. That'd be cool. Let's make it the whole thing, and you can decide, you can upload an image to use, so you can choose from any uploaded image, or more than likely you want this image to be dynamic so that when you generate pins you can set this as a dynamic image. So here's the button in the top here, which says use detected images. It's the power button. You're going to want to click that on, and then when you use this template in the future, it'll use the dynamic image there. So that's one of the unique concepts of this, is that you can set dynamic fields to use dynamic fields. But what I'm going to do for now is just for demonstration's sake is put this down here. I know it looks messy, but it's just as an example, and I'm just going to recenter that so we can see the cat's head. And yeah, so let's go through each of these. So you can add a rectangle, quite simply. You can change the color, the border, all that, blah, blah, blah. Let's get rid of that. You can create text. You can create any type of text. You can set the font type. You can click to add the text in here, whatever you like. You can also make this text dynamic. So here you can select what type of text you want to, what dynamic text you want to set it to. So you can set it to the title of the post that you're using, the description, the URL, the brand name, short URL, etc. So that's how you do that. You can create an image, just like how I showed you. You can make the image dynamic, change the opacity, blah, blah, blah. I'm just going to get rid of that. Additionally, for text, is you can set the text color to be dynamic. So that'll use the color from your color palette here, which was interesting to know. And that's very useful in creating some cool templates. What else? Image. Okay, you can create a video. You can add a video feed here, which will be used for videos. You can see that we've just got a cat as the placeholder one here. You can upload a video, as well as making it. It's a video section, so you can click and drag videos onto this this layer. All right, and then you can add SVGs. SVGs are basically shapes. So there's a whole bunch of shapes and iconography that you can use. You can just add it there. You can change the color. If you want to upload an SVG, you can. There's an SVG library you can use. But there's a whole bunch of SVGs which you can use for free. Or there's a really cool web page here where you can generate SVGs from. So you can generate some cool like wavy SVGs or blobs or circle scatters. Really cool stuff there. So that's just a link out to that. So yeah, let's zoom out a bit. You can zoom, and yeah, and here's a layer management section where you can manage where the layers are. So you can see, of course, that is how you manage the layers. So they're going behind the images and stuff. But let's set that to there. So when you click on the layer, it shows you which layer it is in the stack. So this is the topmost. If I send that all the way to the back, you can't see it. If I bring it up to the top, you can see it. Pretty straightforward. Okay, so let's say we've got this cat image. We like this template. Let's say it's all good to go. We've got dynamic text here. We've got some static text here. Rock and roll. So let's go back to the generate page, and let's use our newly created template. So what do we call it? It was test something. So we can edit this. Oh wait. Firstly, let's go to templates, and then let's refresh our template. So we go your templates. Because we've added a new template, let's just refresh it. Cool, and we've got test template here. So let's use that. So it's just randomized because we have a whole bunch of other templates selected. So we could unselect all of these, or we could just go to the template here, click the drop down, and click test template. That's the template we used. So click OK. So now we can see it's used the dynamic text, it's used a dynamic image that is selected, and it's used the dynamic URL. So this is all of our fields that we've selected. So you'll see when we select a new image, it sets these things to dynamic. So it's setting this background to dynamic, and I don't want that to use dynamic. Okay, maybe we've made a bit of an issue there. But okay, one thing I wanted to demonstrate is, let's go back to the template. Let's say we wanted to move the template up here to a different position. Move it there, we save the template, go back to the generate page, and then let's refresh our templates. It refreshes our template and it has the new change available. So that's one thing to note. Rocking. Yeah, so that's the basic crash course on how to create your own templates and how to create elements and position them all for your own design needs. Cool. What's next? Okay, so a few last things that I need to show you guys. First things first is the Chrome extension. So there's a pin generator Chrome extension, which allows you to generate Pinterest pins from any website. It's pretty straightforward. basically, sometimes when you put in a URL to generate pins from, it is unable to detect the images. It is unable to detect all of the images from the page. This could be due to website security or some other problem. So the Chrome extension really helps you get around this. So if you have an Instagram page, let's go to this Instagram page, and if you took this URL and you put it into Pin Generator, Instagram is going to block us from fetching the images here. But what we can do to get around this is use the Chrome extension. So you can see here, it's blocked me from fetching any data. But if you're looking at this, sorry, this is a terrible profile to look at, but it'll be served to demonstrate what we're doing. If you install the Pinterest Chrome extension, which is available here in the Chrome Web Store, you can just add it to Chrome and click on your little puzzle pieces. You'll have Pin Generator installed here. There's another video for that. You can click here, scan page, and it'll scan the metadata from this page, as well as all the images. So these images are terrible to use, but you can select which images you like. You can update the metadata, and when you're happy, you can click generate, and it'll take you to Pinterest, and it'll generate pins for you based on all of those images that you captured, as well as the title, description, etc. So that's a really great way to generate pins from any website. So that's the Chrome extension. One other thing is the Pin Generator WordPress plugin. This allows you to generate Pinterest pins and insert them into your blog posts on WordPress automatically. So if you have a bunch of blog posts, like here, you can see in this image, you'll have in your posts list, you'll have a new column section where you can generate a Pinterest pin using a title and set the colors and templates, etc. And oh, how do I get out of here? Let's go back. There's some settings for you, and it'll insert the Pinterest pin at the bottom of your WordPress posts. That's a great way to add a pin into your WordPress posts, and then people can pin it to their profiles and use it later, which will get you backlinks and traffic to your website. So yeah, that's the WordPress plugin in a nutshell. There's also a longer video about it. And last but not least, Pin Generator has an affiliate program. So if you want to join and spread the word about Pin Generator, you can. You can sign up for a profile here and then share your unique link here. And then people, when they click on that link and make a purchase, you will get 25% of any revenue generated, including recurring income, monthly basis or a annual basis. So yeah, so that's the profile. Other things to know, there's a great blog. We have loads of blog articles and tutorials about Pinterest marketing. There's loads of videos on this channel, so you can check out my channel, and there's a whole bunch of tutorials and playlists there which you can use to help you really up your Pinterest marketing game. There's a whole bunch of stuff in our footer as well over here. Yeah, so I hope you liked the video. I know it's a very long one, and I think we covered everything. It's a nice new update for this video because it's August 2023, and the last one was done maybe a couple of months ago. So I'm glad we're getting up to date. And yeah, if you have any questions, leave them below. I'm all ears. I hope this helps. And yeah, hit the subscribe button for more tutorials, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.